3, 2, and 1. When the screen turns red, you can go. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another IGF online session. Today's session is slightly different. It's not a physical activity session. This is a cognitive challenge and a bit of tactical work just to keep your brains working whilst you're at home. Okay, so make sure you find a comfortable area to sit. We won't go on for too long. It's very much an introductory stage today. So just to introduce you to a few challenges to get your brains working and get you starting to think about football from a tactical point of view again. Okay, so I think the way we're going to work, we have 5 different scenarios. I'm going to pose these scenarios to you, and I'd like you to send in your answers in the live Q&A section. Okay, so give me your feedback. Let me know your thoughts around the scenarios and what your answer would be, and then I'll give you the feedback as to what my answer would be as well. Okay, so just to recap, we will do some introductory work, and then next week we'll take it on another level and make it a little bit more challenge. But for today, we're just going to start off nice and easy, just to see where we are all at in terms of our understanding of football. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so cognitive and tactical work. The idea of this work is to challenge your game understanding and to consolidate any learning that you've had in previous terms. So if you're an IGF player, you would have come across some of this learning in our training sessions, but I'm sure if you play for a different academy, you've also been through similar training sessions. So you should have had these messages delivered within your learning sessions. Across the curriculum that we've built, there are 3 levels which increase in difficulty as you progress. Okay, so we're going to start with 5 scenarios for level 1, and level 1 is what we're going to go through today. So we'll move on to the next slide. So level 1, nice and easy place to start for us. Okay, now before we go to the scenarios, it's important you understand the key. So if we move on to the slide with the key. All right, so obviously we've got a football pitch. The blue player is going to represent IJF. All right, so when we're talking through the scenarios, I will refer to IJF. The blue player in the picture will be the IGF player. Okay, the yellow player will be the goalkeeper. The red player will be the opposition's outfield player. And then we have the opposition goalkeeper, as well as the ball. The black dotted arrow is the player's movement, and the red arrow is the ball movement. So remember that as we work through these scenarios. So we'll move on to the first scenario. Okay, so you're looking at the top left of your screen. All right, so you might need to make that as big as possible so you can really see it clearly. But in this scenario, IJF are defending, so the blue team are defending. Okay, the opposition have counter-attacked on us and have a 2v1 overload against the defender closest to the ball. All right, now I want you to look at the defender furthest away from the ball, so the blue player to the furthest right on the screen. Which recovery run would you expect the player to make? So where should that defender go? So you can see the black dotted arrows. Should that player move in the direction of arrow A? Should he move in direction of arrow B? Or should he move in the direction of arrow C? Okay, so put your scores or your results, your opinions into the Q&A. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so if this is live and this is happening right now and you are that player, where do you move to? Where do you go to support the defender closest to the ball? Do you move in direction of arrow A? Do you move in direction of arrow B? Or do you move in direction of arrow C? Okay, so put your answers in the live Q&A. I'll give you a few more seconds just to make sure you do that. Okay, so some good answers there, well done. Let's start with arrow A. It's not arrow A. Okay, so arrow A is running away from the ball, and it's still leaving a lot of space for the attackers to go into. So that's not the correct answer. Okay. Also, if you look at arrow C is running in front of the ball and in front of the defender. And that will cause us a problem because that still leaves space for the attackers to go into. So the correct answer for this scenario is B. And the reason for that, and a lot of you got that correct, is to provide support and cover to the nearest defender. All right, and you're also protecting the space in front of the goal, which is the most dangerous area on the pitch. So for those of you that answered B, absolutely brilliant. Well done. Okay, so you're getting across to support the closest defender and cover the space in front of the goal. Okay, well done, everybody. A nice, easy start. So we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so this scenario is a little bit different. Again, you might need to zoom in a little bit if you can't see it that clearly. But in this scenario, IJF are defending. So again, the blue players are defending. The opposition are about to deliver a cross into the box. Okay, so you'll see the player on the wide right is about to deliver a cross into the box. Which body position should the IJF defender adopt? Okay, so I don't know if you can see that clearly, but the first picture in the top left, the defender is facing the ball. All right, he's facing the man on the right of the screen. Okay, he can't see what's behind him, so he's facing straight on to the ball. In the second picture, in fact, I'm sorry, that was picture 2. So in picture 2, he's facing straight to the ball. In picture 1, he's facing sideways, so he can see the ball and he can see the man. And in picture 3, at the very bottom, he's facing the attacker inside the box. So he can't see the ball, but he can see the attacker. Which one's the correct answer? So are you going A, B, or C? So top, middle, or bottom, which is your answer? Put your answers in the chat now. So if there's a cross coming into the box, you are the defender. What body position should you adopt? Should you face the crosser? Should you face the attacker in the box, or should you turn to a position where you can face both? And again, just make sure you put your answers in the Q&A section so I can see your thoughts. Some good answers. Some of you have got that correct. Well done. Okay, so let's just talk through it. It's not the third one. So we don't want to only face the attacker in the box, because then we can't see where the ball's coming from and we can't see where the ball's going to go. So that would be a problem. It's also not the middle one, so not scenario B, because in scenario B, you can only see the ball. You can't see the attacker behind you. Okay, so the correct answer is scenario A, where you are in the middle, turning your body so you can see where the ball's coming from, but you can also see where the ball is going to go. And that will give you a better understanding and a better opportunity to clear that ball and to stop it from going in the net. So if you answered A, absolutely brilliant. Well done. Okay, so we'll move on to scenario 3, the next slide. Okay, so a little bit more difficult now. There's a few more things going on. In this scenario, IJF are defending again. Okay, the opposition player with the ball, so the man on the ball, he's right-footed. Okay, and he has a supporting player in the middle of the pitch. So the guy to the left of the screen in the orange with the ball, he is right-footed. Okay, the second IJF player, the one furthest away on the right, he's making a recovery run. Okay, so he's trying to get back into a position similar to what we spoke about in scenario 1. So he's going to get into a position where he can provide support and cover. Okay, now which direction should the defender closest to the attacker with the ball show him? Should he make him go down the side, which is option A? Should he make him go towards the goal, which is option B? Or should he make him go in the middle of the pitch, which is option C? All right, so imagine you are the defender closest to the attacker on the ball. He's right-footed and he's dribbling at you. Do you want him to go down the line, option A, towards the goal, option B, or inside, which is option C? Okay, so put your answers in the chat. Yep, so keep sending your answers in, guys. I am reading them. I'm looking at your feedback. There's a couple of you asking if there's any physical exercise today. Today is not a physical exercise session. Today is just a cognitive exercise. So it's about testing your tactical understanding and things that you may have learned in your training sessions prior to the lockdowns. We're just still keeping your brains working. Okay, so your answers for scenario 3, are you showing the attacker option A, option B, or option C? Okay, now my answer in this situation would be option A. And the reason for that is by showing the attacker down the side of the pitch, it's into a less dangerous area. Okay, so I want to keep that player in the least dangerous position. And also, if we remember, the attacker is right-footed. So if I let him come inside of the pitch, he's going to be on his favourite foot, and he probably will be able to cause some damage. So we want him to go down the side and use his left foot, and that will give us the best chance of winning that ball back or of him making a mistake. Okay, so for those of you that answered option A, brilliant. Right, we'll move on to scenario 4, the next slide. Right, so again, put your answers in the Q&A when you're ready. In this slide, or in this scenario, IJF are defending again, okay? And the ball has just been played to the opposition striker. So you'll see the man on the middle of the pitch, he has made a forward pass to the man higher up the pitch, okay? Now, IJF are marking that man, but what position should they be in? Should the defender be in position A, which is really, really tight to the defender, to the attacker? Should the defender be a little bit back, so a step behind him? It's still in touching distance, but not really tight. Or should the defender be a few steps back? Should he be 5 or 6 steps back, giving the attacker some space? All right, so give me your feedback in the Q&A. If you were that defender playing against that striker, what position would you adopt? Would you go up really tight? Would you get within touching distance? Or would you give that attacker some space? So A, B, or C, what would you do? Some brilliant answers from everybody. I think everybody's got this one correct. Okay, so it's not C, because you're in the attacker is in a dangerous position. You don't want to give him any space to be able to shoot and score a goal. All right. The answer is also not A. You don't want to be too tight, because if you're too tight, he can just turn down the side and get a shot. So the correct answer is B. You're tight enough to be able to touch the player, okay? But you also have enough space to change direction should the attacker turn. Okay, so for those of you that answered B, absolutely brilliant. Well done. Okay, final scenario. So we're going to move on. Final scenario. So have a read of this situation, this screen, and again, put your answers in the Q&A. So in this scenario, IJF are now attacking, okay? And they have committed all of their players to the attack apart from one. The opposition have left one striker. Okay, so you can see the orange player in the middle, that is the striker. Which positions should our final defender take up whilst the rest of his teammates are attacking? So I want you to imagine you are the last defender. You've been asked to stay back while all of your teammates have gone attacking. What position do you take to mark that striker? Do you stand in front of him, like option A? Do you stand touching distance, like option B? Or do you stand all the way back, like option C? Okay, so send your answers in. Let me see your answers. Some great answers. Mansour, brilliant. Inian, brilliant. Yeah, I'll give you a few more moments to send your answers in. This is the final scenario for today. Neil, well done. Okay, so the correct answer is B. All right. A is wrong. If you're in front of that attacker and the defenders clear the ball over your head, the attacker's going to have a great chance to score a goal. But also C is wrong. If you're standing all the way back and let your attacker get the ball in space and then dribble at you, that's going to cause a problem. So the correct answer was B. You've got to be not really tight like in the last situation, but you've got to be close enough to be able to put pressure on that attacker should the ball go to him. Okay? So that was it for today. Really short introductory session to some of IJF's cognitive and tactical challenges. All right, we're going to be sending these out, so keep an eye on your emails, and we'll run these sessions on a weekly basis. But as we said at the very start, we're going to progress the challenges. So this was level 1, really basic and really easy. And I can see from your responses in the Q&A, you pretty much got them all right. So you're all up. If you want to do more stuff like this, check out the IJF social media channel, so Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. But otherwise, find yourself a football match to watch and pick a player and look at some of the decisions that player makes in the games. Okay, because we can all learn from each other. So this is a great opportunity whilst we're staying at home to actually watch some more football. You may have to find a video on YouTube to watch some more football and learn from that. Okay, but I want to say well done to everybody for taking part in today's cognitive session. We will be back next week with more, and we will send out some more challenges to you via email and on our social media channels. Okay, so stay safe, stay home, and have a great weekend. Well done, everybody.